Hello guys, today I'd like to revisit the now 9-year-old ATI Radeon HD 4890 graphics card. In the year 2018, what exactly can you do with it? Is it possible to make it work with Windows 10? And most importantly, is playing modern game titles possible? This experiment didn't quite turn out the way I expected it to. So first of all, this lovely GPU was sent to me by my friend Stefan. Thank you. This, besides the HD 4870 and 5870, is a graphics card I always dreamed of, but never owned one back in the day. This is the PowerColor Radeon HD 4890 PCS Plus with a whopping 1GB of GDDR5 VRAM. That was pretty damn good for back in the day. Yeah, this card was released sometime in April 2009 if I remember correctly, just before the new HD 5000 series launched later that year with glorious DirectX 11 support. So yes, this is a DX10 GPU and that is pretty problematic when it comes to modern gaming. Spec-wise, this is a really good GPU for 2009 and also wasn't necessarily a bargain back in the days. Okay, since I'm sure many others have tested a 4870 or 4890 in Windows 7 or 8, I want to give it a shot with the latest OS out there from Microsoft, Windows 10. However, ATI, or rather AMD, no longer offers driver support for this dated GPU. While many experience problems, I found a way to get old HD 4000 series cards working in Windows 10. First, go to AMD's driver download page, select the correct type, product family, series, and as for the operating system, go for the latest available one, Windows 8 64-bit in this case. Then I decided to go for the beta driver, but you can simply download the official final but slightly more outdated one as well if you want. Then just try to install the driver. In my case, I just want the display driver and Catalyst Control Center. You will however not be able to complete the installation without errors. It turns out the display driver failed to install. Okay, now at this point, go to the device manager. Under display adapters, right-click your GPU and choose Update Driver. Then browse your computer for driver software, then pick from a list. Now click on Have Disk and navigate to Drive C, AMD. Open the folder you extracted before, go to Packages, Drivers, Display, go for W86A-inf, and choose the first inf file. Then go ahead and let Windows do the rest. And voila, it's working! I'm gonna set the resolution to 1080p. Okay, now that that's working, can we play modern games with this HD 4890? Well, it turns out no, a very clear no. AAA titles like Battlefield 1 do not support DX10 GPUs, same for Crysis 3, and yet another error message for Doom. Far Cry 4 simply crashes on startup, Rise of the Tomb Raider requires a DX11 card too, however GTA 5 does support DX10 graphics cards. So I fired that game up and set the resolution to 720p. The rest is at normal or rather lowest possible settings. The frame rate is actually looking pretty sweet if it weren't for the fact that the game simply freezes and the GPU crashes after a short while. Having had enough of all those error messages, I just installed Far Cry 3, which was released in 2012. This game can actually run with DirectX 9. As for the settings, I have it running at 720p low preset. As you can see, the game runs great with over 100 frames per second. This means we could increase some settings. Let's go for high. Okay, roughly 45 FPS, not too bad. But at medium settings, we get the sweet spot with 60 FPS. So games from like 2012 to 2013 could in fact still run somewhat fine with this HD 4890 with the DirectX 10 API. GTA 5 for some reason crashed. Maybe the beta driver I installed is at fault, maybe even the combination of Windows 10 and this card. What I know for sure though is that the GPU itself is working fine. No overheating or crashing otherwise. But in all honesty, a DX10 GPU these days, not something I would necessarily recommend, unless you of course solely want to play older games from the 2009 era. The power consumption on load for today's standards isn't really a shocker. car. On idle, however, the HD 4890 isn't very power efficient. It, for instance, consumes about 120% more power on idle than a GTX 1080 Ti does, with otherwise the same identical system. So yeah, I guess this wraps this video up. More of a personal experiment than anything else, but hopefully you've enjoyed it nonetheless. And as always, thanks for watching.